Hello, hello, welcome back. I have had so much fun today crafting with all of you. I've loved chatting with some of you in the chat going on the website, and it's just been a great day. So I hope that some of you have come back to make some red roses with me. And let's go ahead and switch our camera and take a look at this next card that we're going to make. All right, so after my first card was a little in depth with a lot going on, I kind of wanted to just um, do something. I don't want to say simple, but a little less involved. Although it turned out this one I think is actually harder than the other one. So um, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to need to make this beautiful Valentine's card. All right, for the dies, we're going to be using some of the slimline dies. We're going to use the Slim Elegant Rectangle. And we're also going to be using the Slim Star Lattice Rectangle. I don't know if you noticed in our original here, but I have done some embossing with the Slim Star Lattice Rectangle die. So it's kind of just adding some dimension and interest to our background. Hello, Brenda and Connie. Welcome back. Did anybody even take time to eat lunch today, or have you just been crafting right through lunch? So I was fortunate enough that my husband actually ran and brought me a sandwich. I was so glad. I was starting to feel the hunger pangs when you're crafting so hard that you miss lunch. Okay, now the other things we're going to be using in our bouquet is this beautiful fern leaf here in the floral butterfly accents. And you may not notice it in our bouquet, but we also have some of the clematis flower. So we're going to be using this one right here. And that is all we'll be using from the clematis section. And then from our decorative heart die, which if you've been watching with us today, this one is back ordered right now, but it will be in, it looks like February 27th. So we will be using the love word from this die set. Okay, to begin, we're going to make our flowers first. So to begin, I did something a little different that I don't normally do. I decided instead of like 90% of my, okay, someone's saying that I'm blurry. Let me know if it gets better, okay? Because I don't, from my point of view, we're good. So I did something I don't normally do. 90% of what I do with flowers, I use the Heartfelt Creation flower shaping paper. And I do that because you just get absolutely perfect results every time. It is by far the best paper to make flowers with. Let me kind of adjust my camera here and see if that helps. All right. All right. Oh, Tammy says she's good. Connie's good. Okay, well, hopefully if anybody's blurry, it is caught up and it's good. But for this card today, I really wanted to get a different look to my roses. So I am using at like a 65 to 80 pound paper. That is much thinner than what I would normally use for making flowers. And because it is so thin, I didn't use the molds with it. I think especially the rose mold, which gives you an awful lot of texture, I'm pretty sure it would, this paper wouldn't go through there real well. So I did all of my flower shaping by hand. But I did my stamping. It almost like, this is almost like Christmas typing paper that you can get at like Walmart. This is not expensive paper. It's really, it's smooth. It does not have texture. And I wanted to kind of see how this would work to make red roses. So in the English ivy, I stamped the clematis flower that I showed you. And I stamped, here, I'll show you this one, the fern, and I needed at least 3 of this fern leaf. And then I did about 4 or 5 of the leaves that come from the classic rose set. So I did like maybe 4 or 5 of these, 4 or 5 of these, and at least 3 of these. And I did that on the green. And then for the red, I used the classic rose stamp that gives you 2 sizes. And I just filled up a whole piece of red paper with this, and I stamped that in the vermilion. Oh, you know what? I think I pulled the lighthouse, but I actually used the vermilion. I just pulled the wrong one out of my stack here. Okay, and that is all that I did as far as inks and that kind of thing. And I am so sorry that some of you are blurry. I don't know why. You know, I think it might be because this paper is like, what do you call that? It's too, my lights are too bright and it's doing that off the paper. So hopefully now that I've got the papers off, it'll go back to being good. All right, so when you're all done stamping and die cutting, you'll have a nice pile of pieces that look like this. Okay. All right. Now I am going to be using my glue gun for this. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out and going. All right. And another thing I'm going to be using is the golf tool. And I use the largest one out of the golf tool set. And okay. Just double checking to see if some of you are not blurry and doing well. Okay, I'm also going to be coming in. Whoops. I needed my shaping mat and I don't know where I put. Oh, here it is. It's buried under paper. Sorry. I'm also going to be using a shaping mat out of the Deluxe Flower Shaping Kit. So to start to make my rosebuds, and here's one that I've already made. I did a lot of manipulating it by hand. So I'm going to take the wide part of my golf tool and I'm going to press in the center of each petal and pull back. And this is how I'm going to make the real tight, whoops, the real tight centerpiece inside the center of my rose there. This is going to make that tightest bud part. Just going to move these out of the way here. So I'm starting with, remember we stamped the one that looks like this? I'm using the smaller of the two, and I've put a curl into each petal. Now I'm going to take one of those and roll it in my fingers till it makes a tight bud. See that? I'm going to kind of hold it up there and turn it away. So you see I just rolled it in my fingers to get a nice tight bud on that one side. Now I'm going to put my golf tool, the tip of it, right at the base, and I'm going to fold it up and push it down into the middle. See, so it kind of stands up in the center like that. So I've put a little crease right here on the back side. And that's just to get that to stand up. Now I'm going to take some hot glue. I'm going to put that right in the center. And I just realized I don't have my glasses on, which is why I'm having trouble seeing. And I'm going to stand that nice little tight bud that I just made. I'm going to stand it up in the center. Okay. All right. All right. So once we get that, and I'm going to pop my glasses on. All right. So this is what we have right now. Are we seeing that okay? It's just standing up there in the center. So I'm going to hold it like this, and I'm going to start bringing up the petals. And this is, tighten that up again. It kind of came apart. All right. So now that I have it like this, I'm going to add a little hot glue, just a little bit down there at the base, and I'm going to bring up my petal. Yep. And I'm just going to slowly bring up all the petals for each one. And this process creates a lot of the little cobwebby things there from your hot glue. So the reason I said that this card is actually a little harder than the pop-up card is because of the paper that I chose to use. This is not the ideal paper for making flowers, but it does give you that real nice solid color that I was looking for to make my roses. But I have to say that that's really the only quality that I would say benefits you. So now that you have it like this, I'm just going to press it all together to get it good and tight. Okay. All right. So you can kind of see it there. We've just made the inside part of our rosebud. And look at that. It's just all stuck to me. There we go. I've glued my fingernail shut to my skin. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take the bigger of the two, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to run my golf tool, just curl each petal around my golf tool. So tell me in the chat, are you like me and kind of like to experiment with different papers, different paints, different markers, colors, inks, all kinds of things, just to see what kind of looks you can get with the different flowers. I just enjoy playing and seeing what I can do. So, okay. Oh no. So apparently it looks like we're talking about hurricanes. Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully, I have not even been aware of the weather going on. We had some bad weather go through Texas, and then I kind of just turned the TV off. I have not been up to date with what's going on in the rest of the world. So hopefully everyone's doing well in their areas. No dangerous weather. Okay, so now I'm taking the tip of I'm taking the side of my golf tool and I'm just curling. Some of the petals I'm curling on the sides, some I'm curling back, but I'm just giving shape to my outer petals. And I'm going to bring those up. And over here on my mat, I'm just going to add some glue down there in the center. And we're going to pop what we made before down inside. Bring that all up. Now again, I have to come back and add a little hot glue on the sides just to get that to come up into my flower. Okay, so at this point right here, it doesn't necessarily, let me add some to this too. Okay, so once I got it to this point, there were some places that I thought it might need some more petals. So what I did is I took one of the big ones and I went ahead and shaped my petals. Curled them the way I thought I wanted them to go for whichever I was doing. Then I took my scissors and I just snipped that petal out. So that's why I made lots of extras, because I wanted to be able to have extra petals to add if I thought an area needed it. So I'm just going to put a little hot glue down here on the base of that petal, and looking at my flower, decide where I think that needs to be. Okay. Now, once I got them kind of to this stage, the next thing I'm going to do, and okay, I got to get rid of my strings. Okay. Once I kind of had it to this stage, I'm going to show you what I then did with our clematis flower. I used the clematis flower to be my calyx on the base of my rose. So to add some shape, and I'm sorry, my flowers are stuck together with the hot glue strings. Remember how much you pull them off? Like hot glue just kind of gets stuck everywhere sometimes, doesn't it? You know, I have trouble with that chewed up look too. I know exactly what you're talking about, Connie. So it does just take a lot of practice. And honestly, there's some people in our Facebook group that they really know how to make roses, don't they? I watch their stuff all the time. So I've turned this on the back side, and I'm just putting a little bit of pressure in the center of each of the leaves until I get it kind of looking like this. Okay, so it curls down. And right here on the top, I'm going to add just a little hot glue. And then I'm going to take my flower and put it right down on it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I've just used my clematis flower to be my calyx on some of the flowers. So you need to make, let's see, double check here to make sure. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can do 7 if you would like. I don't remember now if I put one on the shortest one or not, but we are going to be using the wire stems. And they come in the Easy Stem Floral Wire Pack. So tell me in the chat, have a lot of you tried using the wire stems, and have you been enjoying adding these to your cards? I just think they're a great invention. You know, back when we used to have to take wire and wrap them with paper and all of that, that was just a little more detailed than I wanted to go into most of the time. But now that they have come out with these, I am having so much fun making, you know, the flowers that are in bouquets and where you can see the stems. I just love these things. Okay, so I've made about 7 roses. And on some of them, I'm going to use this one right here. I have used, so some of them I put the calyx on, and then some of them I'm going to put the leaves on. Okay, so let's get out our mat again. And like I said, I'm not using any molds because my paper is really flimsy paper. So on the back, I'm just gently putting some shape in each of the leaves. I'm going to turn it over and kind of press. And I'm also going to put a little bit of shape in the curlicues, just getting them to go different ways. All right, and the same thing, except this time I'm going to add my hot glue to the flower instead of the leaf. And I'm just going to press it right down in there. Okay, so you're going to have 2 different styles. Some of your roses will have the calyx, and then some of your roses will have the leaves. So once you've got all those made, I'll show you. Some of these I made prior, and then some of them I just did. But there you go. We have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll go ahead and do this one right here. And it looks like I need another one on a calyx. So let's go ahead and do that. So after your wonderful full day of crafting, does anybody have plans for later on, going to dinner or anything like that? Oh, somebody asked about what pound of paper we should use. I would say from 65 to 80, or at least that's what I used. I'm thinking this is no more than 80. It's just a little bit firmer than maybe typing paper. It's not quite as flimsy as typing paper, but it's probably just the next one after that. There we go. I'm going to add that. Put this one right there. Okay. I'll set my glue gun aside. Okay, so another thing that I discovered when I was trying to do this, oh, somebody said, oh, you're going to have your granddaughter for supper? Oh, that's wonderful. Speaking of granddaughters, I forgot to share this with you, but this is an extra special Valentine's Day for us because my daughter-in-law is due any moment now. Like they're going to the hospital tonight. She's going to be induced tonight if she doesn't go naturally. So I'm going to have my second granddaughter here in the next few days. So we're just doubly excited this Valentine's Day. So her birthday, I'm guessing, will probably be the 15th or 16th. I'm not expecting her tonight, but at the same time, you just never know, right? So we're just praying that all goes wonderful, and we're looking forward to meeting baby Rory. Okay, yes, the Heartfelt paper is definitely heavier. This is just like an inexpensive, kind of flimsier paper. So you can get this in the like Walmart section in the business section at Christmas time. Okay, so what I'm doing now, okay, if I left these just straight and we put them on like this, they wouldn't necessarily look like roses. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my tweezers and at the tips, I'm bending this down, and that's going to give me a place to rest my flowers. Okay, so I'm going to all of the different stems here, and I'm just bending down the top to give myself a little bit of wire to set my flower on. Oh, someone else has a baby girl due at the end of May. It's just wonderful, right? I have to say that grandparenting is like my very favorite thing. So, oops, there we go. Got that one bent. I'm doing it again. I don't have my glasses on. Okay. So now that I have all of these bent down like that, can you kind of see that? Kind of looks like a rake. Okay. We're going to start adding our flowers on. So there's really no rhyme or reason to how you put them on. There we go. But let's see. I'm going to take one that's got, I've got to turn my glue gun back on. One that's got the curlicue and the leaves, and I'm going to put that on my tallest stem. Don't know why I talked too long. My glue gun went off. Yes, you get your color cardstock from Michaels. Yes, the 65 pounds. Yes, that's what this is most likely going to be like. And like I said, this is not something I do often. I 1,000 times more prefer using the flower shaping paper. I think you get better results, but you're going to have that inking. It looks like inking, and I just wanted to try using a solid, a colored paper to just see what kind of results I got. So sometimes I think it's fun just to do something different, right? So, all right. So now that I have hot glue again, and I'm going to set that right on top of the little fold that I made. And sometimes I like to turn it upside down and kind of fold that hot glue over the top there just to make sure that that's all on there solid. All right, from there, I'm just going to continue adding on. Oops, putting it to the wrong part. So now I'm going to add one with the calyx instead, and we'll just keep working our way down. It does take a second. You've got to kind of hold them in place till that hot glue gets set. Because these flowers are kind of heavy. They're not heavy really because of the weight, but they're heavy just in the size. So to fit on these little wires, you do have to kind of hold that on there. And I'm going to bend back the two that I've already done and bend forward the one I'm working on. And just keep adding those on. So tell me in the chat, did you receive any roses or flowers today? I forgot to tell you, you may have noticed when the camera is on me at the beginning and end, my husband did get me some roses, and I set them behind me. He picked out a beautiful hot pink bouquet of roses, and I used that as my backdrop today. So thank you very much. If he's watching, he's usually downstairs watching when I'm doing a live. So was a nice tree. So now I'm taking one with some of the curlicues and the leaves, and I'm adding that there in the middle. But you can be kind of random about it. Ooh, someone got various colors of roses. That's always fun. When I do bring the camera back around, I'll point out my hot pink ones in the back. They're very pretty. All right, so we're getting there. We got 3 more. Whoop. That one doesn't want to stay up there. All right, I don't know if that one's going to stay on or not. He's being contrary. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, you can kind of see it starting to come together. We're going to put this one over here, and then this one that's the tightest, the smallest of the little buds, I'm going to put it on the lowest. And this one is just not staying in place yet. I'm going to have to hold him a little longer. Where are you going to go out to eat tonight, Lucille? Have you... I have to be honest, here in Texas, when we're going to go out for a nice meal, it's almost always steak. We do have a really nice seafood place here in town that we all like, so sometimes we choose that. But so while we're waiting on these to dry, has anybody picked themselves out some goodies for to use their 15% discount on? That is a perk that Heartfelt Creation, you know, that's not a normal thing, but they did it once for the birthday event, and now we're doing it again here for Valentine's Day. So definitely something you want to take advantage of if you've had your eye on things, or if you're just going to stock up on those kind of staple things like the papers. This is a great time to pick those kinds of things up. Okay, someone asked if there's a true red. I have the carnation red and the vermilion red. I can't say that word very well. And I kind of use those in combination, and those are kind of my 2 main reds. Okay, so once we get it like this, I'm going to just kind of set that aside and let that dry. Oh, that one's still falling. We got to hold that a little while longer. Some of them are wanting to tip over, so. All right. All right, so now that we have it like this, I'm going to set this aside for just a little bit, and we're going to work on our card base. Oh boy, I love to talk craft storage. I am always looking for better ways to store everything, right? Because we accumulate a lot of things, right? Okay, so I have made a shaped base. So I took about a 8x9 piece, I think about 8x10, and folded it over. And then the outline die from our set, the outline of the whole thing, I used this one, and when I ran it through my die, I ran it through my machine, I let one edge hang off the edge. So that's something you've probably seen us do often, but just in case you haven't, if there's some of you watching us for the first time, I wanted to show you how to make a shaped card. So you're going to want that edge to hang off. And then go ahead and score it down the middle and fold it over. And after you do that, you're going to want to take that same die and die cut another piece, and this time you're going to die cut the whole thing. Don't let it hang off. You're going to die cut the whole thing. And this piece will eventually get glued on here, but not yet, because we have some other things that we want to do with that. So we're then going to take the next die, our pretty elegant decorative piece, and you're going to go ahead and cut this in white as well. You know what? Someone asked if the stems are apparently out of stock right now. So it's probably best to check with customer service, but you can also, sometimes there will be a button that says they're going to be restocked. You can click on that and they will let you know when it's going to be back in. That's probably the best thing. If not, you can certainly call customer service and they'll let you know the status on different things that may be out of stock. Okay, so once you get this beautiful piece, we're not going to glue it down quite yet, but you're going to position it right like this. And we're going to get our lattice die. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to emboss this pretty piece right here. So I want you to lay it cut side down and position it here between this pretty piece right here. And then you're going to go ahead and tape that in place to put it through your die machine. All right. Now, go ahead and take this piece away. We're not going to run this through our die machine again, but this right here, now that you've got it positioned in place, I have an electric die machine, but regardless of whether you have a manual die machine or a electric, it's kind of the same concept. You're going to keep your bottom plates, however your machine normally has the bottom plates, you keep that the same. Then you're going to take your piece and the cutting plate, the cutting part needs to be facing a rubber mat. So I usually put mine so that the die cuts are up. If you usually place in yours in machine this way, then you'll want to put this on the bottom and then this on top. So you just want your cutting, the side that cuts, to be facing the mat. Okay, and for mine, I do it this way. So I put my rubber mat on top and then my cutting plate, and I run that through my machine. And when that comes out, we'll have this right here. So it's almost like it's going to have a quilted pillow look in the middle. All right. All right. So we'll go ahead, and this piece right here that we die cut previously, you're going to put that on something to protect your mat. And we'll go ahead and put some glue . Okay, once put some glue, and you're just going to tap around, like not solid, but you're just going to tap some glue around on this pretty frame. And we'll go ahead and dust that with our glitter. Okay. This is just to add some sparkle. I didn't add too much glitter to my roses, although I'll show you what I did on those when we're done. But once you get this all glittered, you can go ahead and glue that to your quilted piece. Okay, someone was asking, does the cutting edge not cut the rubber mat? There's something about dies that I have never had it cut into my rubber mat. In fact, the rubber mat, it gives and it doesn't really cut into there. That's kind of the purpose of it, I think. It doesn't, that's why you use a rubber one instead of a hard one. When you're doing a really intricate die, a lot of machines, they sell the tin or the metal plate to do with really intricate dies. And that's because it gives those cutting plates something to really press against in order to get it out. But because that's rubber, they don't press in there and they don't cut out. So you just get an embossed instead of a cut out. So I don't really, you know, grasp kind of how it all works, but I know that how it seems to come together for me. So, okay, once you get this piece embossed and your pretty piece glue on, then we're going to go ahead and glue this to our card base. I've been crafting all day today, and my words are starting to fail me, so you'll have to forgive me if I don't make a lot of sense. I'm trying to get my words. Okay, so there we go. So here is our card base, and we've made just, I love the white on white texture. I think that's very elegant and pretty, and sometimes I just like to do a card this way with the white on white. So we'll go ahead and set that aside, and back to our roses. So hopefully all of our hot glue is good and dry right now. And so we're going to position our roses. And remember how we folded those over? We're going to go ahead and bend some of them back up a little bit. Just like where the rose is, just tilt it a little bit up. And you might have to position them around. Just play with it till you get it how you like it. There we go. And then I kind of mashed mine down and just kind of played with it until I got that bouquet how I wanted it to look. I kind of want this one to be at the top. So I'm going to play with him a little longer till I get it the way I want it. Okay, so once I kind of got them how I wanted it, now we're going to start with our fern leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my hot glue gun back on. Connie, you're liking the red? I thought for Valentine's Day they just needed to be red. Of course, you can make a bouquet of roses in all different colors. Like the ones that someone received there from their husband, that you could make this with all different color roses. There we go. I thought for a second my glue gun was out of battery. I was like, oh no, don't do this to me. It's coming back on. Okay, so we're going to take our little fern leaf and we're going to cut it about right there for this one. And you know what? I forgot to do something. We're going to get out our shaping mat again and just on the back side run some shape through some of these. Okay, I forgot to do that. And again, it's just kind of haphazard to give those just a little bit of shape so they don't look perfectly flat. So tell me, have you all been crafting along with us today, or have you just been watching and enjoying and you're going to craft later and come back and watch later? Okay, so I'm going to kind of maneuver that around. And the next thing we're going to do, I've cut this little piece right here, and I'm going to glue him right here onto the back of my stems. So I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to add him right there. I want to be able to see it. Okay. Am I in the camera view? There we go. Just watching, yeah, I find it hard to like craft and watch at the same time. So generally I will watch videos and then craft after. All right, this one I'm going to just cut off a little bit higher because I'm only going to let a little bit of it show, and I'm going to put it right behind my tallest flower. They never look too pretty from the backside, right? But they look nice and pretty from the front. Okay, and then for this last one, I'm going to put it right over here on the other side. And I think for that one, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it in full. And I'll just lay it down right there. Is that catching? Okay. All right. See how that's coming together? You're coloring while you watch? Yes, I do that even when I'm watching TV. I love to color while I watch TV. My family makes fun of me because I set up all the TV trays and I have my colors all out on one. Sometimes I take inks and... Okay, so this piece right here where I have some extra leaves, I'm going to kind of feed those a little bit higher and put them kind of up in my bouquet. If I can get it in there, I'm going to raise that one up and just slip this one right inside. If I can get it there. There we go. All right, just add a little more dimension. Once I get him in here where I want him, then I can reach in there and add some glue and pop this down where I want it. Well, it fell out. There we go. I'll just raise it up. There we go. Okay. All right, there we go. I think I'm liking the way that's coming together. And I'm going to just spread some of them out. You do just have to play with it until you get it the way you like it. And I don't want this big glob of glue to be seen, so I'm just going to angle that up a little more. All right, what do you think of that? Okay, what set is the fern die from? Let me see. That is from the Floral Butterfly and Accents, and that is this one right here. Okay, so once we get that all done, we are ready to put this on our card. So you can decide. My mom really liked it straight up and down. So on my first one, I did that straight up and down, but you can also kind of angle it on your card. Now I leave some room at the top because that is where you're going to put our sentiment. But I am just going to go ahead and put a healthy amount of hot glue. And of course, that's when I knew that was going to run out soon. We're going to add healthy amounts of hot glue onto the back side, and we're going to go ahead and attach this to our card. There we go. Pulling. Now don't worry about all these strings. You can pull those off later, or you can just use a blow dryer to blow dry that. All right. Now for one of the final touches, I just took some organza red ribbon and I tied a little bow. So there's so many ways to tie bows, but I'm afraid I only know the bunny ear way. And hopefully I can, let me pull all the glue strings off of myself. Okay, we're going to make 1 and 2, loop that around, and boom. That's the only way I know how to tie a bow. So hopefully, if some of you don't know and you've always wondered, that's how I go about it. So it's 1 ear, 2nd ear, and then just tie it like a shoestring. So now that we have that, I'll go ahead and trim the ends off. And right down here, I'll just add a big dollop of hot glue, and we will add our bow. Okay, so for the final thing we need to do for our card, thank you, Peggy. You like this one? It's sure a very different look than what I normally do, but I did think it looked appropriate for Valentine's Day. So this could, I think this would make a nice wedding card if you wanted to, you know, you could decorate with anything. And like I said, I wouldn't use this kind of paper all the time, but I did kind of enjoy giving it a shot and seeing how those would turn out. So, okay, so for our black paper, we went ahead and we used the die from the decorative heart, and we cut that out in a circle. Glued that, or well, we cut out a circle and glued it in black to the circle, and then I did put some pop dots on it, and I am just going to pop that right up there at the top. I tried not to cover up all of my quilting, but I'm afraid it did cover up more than I originally wanted it to, but that's just how it goes in design sometimes, right? Okay, so we'll put our love right up there. And for the final step, I took my 3D lacquer, which y'all know that I love, and I took my glitter. And do you remember back in the 80s where they had flowers that they would drip almost like it looked like dew or rain on the flowers? I kind of did that to my roses, and I did that with my crystal lacquer. And whoops, my lid came off. Let me see if I can get that off of there. There we go. All right, so I just went around and I made little drips all over my flowers, and then I sprinkled them with the glitter. And that was just to kind of give them that kind of dew look. Well, and I was real just sporadic with it. You know, I didn't want it to look on purpose. I wanted it to look sporadic. So I just like that. I'll pull this over and we'll add our glitter. There we go. All right, take that off. All right, and there we go. There, now, when that crystal lacquer completely dries, it'll be clear, and we will have our long-stemmed red roses on our white background. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed learning how to put the roses on the stems, and I will switch this back. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending Valentine's Day with all of us. I have enjoyed it so much. I really enjoy chatting with everyone and just enjoying having fun with all these wonderful products that's just inspiring to use, and it's just fun to share the day together. So I hope all of you continue to have a wonderful Valentine's Day. I think at the top of the hour, Emma Lou's going to be back up to close us out for the day, so stick around for that. Don't forget your 15% discount, and I will look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.